It's Pride Month.
Because he hasn't been texting you.
This is the Black Powder Podcast, coming at you live and direct. Your salty tears season my life. It's the Black Powder Podcast. And once again, it's on. You are live now with the greatest libertarian podcast that has ever existed in the history of humanity, if not greater than that. You know, in the nether regions and far beyond, with the greatest creator, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I want to thank you.
You are already stretching. You are already.
I want to thank you for coming and watching. This is the Black Powder Podcast. I am one of your hosts tonight, Marcus Matthews, the only real libertarian. You can find this t-shirt on our Facebook page on the Black Powder Podcast. There's a link there. I need to put it on X as well. But we sell this t-shirt. You too can tell people you're the only real libertarian, except you're not, because that's me. And I am joined.
So why are you selling the shirt then?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I want them to feel like they are like, you know, I'm so
almost
many
as good
idol.
as you.
You know what you should have done? You should have had that shirt say, I am the second. No, because you have the only. Never mind, that won't work either.
I am the only.
And the second only real libertarian.
Or what if that shirt said, I'm friends with the only real libertarian?
There you go. You need a new one. I'm a friend too.
And then they could go, yes, I'm a friend of Tub also.
Wow.
and so,
what's up, Amity? What's up, my guy Freeze here? You know, the real people. Free missed my mess up yesterday. He texted me about my mess up because yesterday on the promo, the graph that I did yesterday, it said LNC chair debate.
You know,
for our
we've done that.
We've already done that. But that just goes to show how entrenched this podcast is in the liberty movement.
We're so entrenched we don't know what we're doing.
At times, you know, it's the fog of war, Tub.
You know.
you truly are the only real libertarian. Let's be very clear. But hold on. I don't know how you can say you're the only true libertarian when Eric has that beard going on.
Yep.
That beard is epic.
I didn't get to finish my story earlier. Long story short, y'all kind of heard the AC's out, so I'm in the house.
Oh,
yeah. So
that's why the beard, the humidity.
It's humidity. Got it all.
I feel like there's like squirrels or something in there. Like there's something moving around.
Hey, I want to tell you guys, Freeze already sick of you guys talking because he's asking what time the show starts.
Listen, he doesn't know anything about shows. You let him just talk. It makes no difference.
Yeah,
wow, we got
shows is all he knows.
El Paso checking in. Is that your arch nemesis? Because he had some pointed words from you for
Woodcraft!
when
Woodcraft! it's not even a Seinfeld Newman, because Newman was like, Newman, this is a Woodcraft! Like, I'm gonna stand out in my front yard and just drop down to my knees and go, Woodcraft! And everybody will know what I'm referring to because he aggravates and annoys everybody.
Everybody, apparently. But
everybody.
Tonight is Kentucky a Commonwealth too?
That's what they call themselves, yes.
They are?
Yeah. Because Amity was very animated when I called the great state of Virginia. Yeah, that's a tongue twister right there.
I'm trying to find a way to mash them up.
Amity was very animated.
Animated.
All right.
We're going to the Commonwealth.
I can't
of
focus the rest of the show. I'm done. I'm going to try to find a way to make that work.
You know,
What did Woodcraft
rein
just
it
say?
in. Rein it in.
What did he just say?
He says, "Why does Tub look like he's in a retirement home,
All right, so
but
listen,
in his own bed?"
because this is the jerk that Woodcraft is, okay? I'm going to explain it real quick so that he can understand what he's saying there. So as you all know, I am in my mother-in-law's tiny house that's in our backyard. That I am back here because she fell down and broke her hip. And so we switched the office to here and her room up into the house. And now she's in the hospital tonight. And that's just the type of person that Woodcraft is. And I want everybody to understand that. That's why everybody should hate him.
I don't want this to get too personal before we get our guest on.
He hates old people. I don't know why Woodcraft is against old people.
Are you calling yourself an old person?
No, I'm talking about my mother-in-law, idiot. All right. Go shave.
All right. So we're going to the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, District 4. Some of you may recognize District 4 from my good friend Eric Bull Liberty's hat. But
coffee mug and t-shirt.
Yeah.
Man, you're a sellout. He's not even a libertarian.
We have the next congressperson from the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Wow. It's going to be a long hour.
Jeremy Todd.
There you go.
Wait. Other hand. There we go.
Listen, this right here was the worst intro ever. This is
hardly.
I'm still glad to be here, brethren.
Yeah, Jeremy did great, but Marcus really screwed that up.
I nailed
it. That was nothing on Jeremy. That was all Marcus. Well, you know what it is? Woodcraft is in all of our heads. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, well, he ain't in mine. I forgot he was here. Just kidding.
See, as it should be. All right, never mind. Let's do what we're supposed to do.
Eric,
that's you first, Eric.
Wrong show.
What's up, friend? The plus 200 to any Army veteran on the show. I guess that's me. Anyone else an Army veteran? Tub also.
Technically.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you know,
Marcus, because he was in the army of the ghetto.
I was in the
he's a breakdancing veteran.
I was in ROTC, but get Eric, go ahead.
No. Are we getting this thing rolling?
Yeah.
Please.
All right, cool. Hey, Jeremy. So we usually start this off with me asking a multi-part question, but really just a chance to introduce yourself.
Sure.
And here are the three parts of the question. If you forget any of them, I'll remind you. Yep. Part 1. When did you realize you were a libertarian? What was your aha moment? Part 2, when did you decide to join the Libertarian Party? And part 3, what made you decide to run for office as a libertarian?
Okay, easy enough. What's funny, I think I'm one of the few where number 2 came before number 1.
Oh, explain.
Explain. I am one of those Gary Johnson converts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up a neocon-ish, like where you put that stupid W sticker on the back of your car and stuff. That was my family, right? So in 2016, I was very much like Mike Huckabee, Sam Brownback, those ghouls were my guys. And then Trump kind of took the world by storm, and the guy pushing back on him was Marco Rubio. And I was like, yeah, Rubio. And then when it all fell apart in the Republican primaries, I was left wanting after the 2016 sort of Trump thing. And Gary Johnson was a nice, soft place to land. He was like a little pillow who was just a guy, he was the moderate I was seeking. Right. And from there, we were already kind of in the general. And so I went looking for Gary Johnson content. Yeah. Nobody has said those words before, but I just said them on your show. I went seeking Gary Johnson content, and on it, I found probably so that's how I decided to become a part of the party. I was like, Gary Johnson, go Libertarian Party. And it was very party. Now, I wasn't involved, but that was when I was like, okay, I'm a part of this party. This is my party. I go on the hunt for Gary Johnson content, and I find the Stossel debate between Gary, Austin Peterson, and John McAfee. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, oh, I like all three of them, and they're kind of fighting with each other. And so after the Gary campaign, as much as we may, however we may feel about it right now, but 2016 Austin Peterson was kind of based, and like he was my next step in following his show and his podcast, which then got me all the way through kind of like to 2020. Got on. I was living in Arizona at the time. Got on board with the Libertarian Party in Arizona. Was very like go Joe team. It just, you know, I didn't know what I didn't know, and from there kind of became more involved in the party. Met some really cool people, became friends on like I finally got swallowed by the social media libertarians and became involved in that, and it's just been a growth process from there.
Everything was good till right about there. I'm like, ooh, those social media libertarians.
Those social media. Now, here's the thing. I never got involved with Facebook libertarians. God bless all of you. But you're awful creatures.
He just called us old.
Twitter libertarians are so much more fun and know how to take a damn joke. And have a good time. These Facebook libertarians will like claw your eyes out and rage quit over everything. Anyways, that's just me. But so I made some really good friends and networked, and it became kind of something that I was passionate about. And then we moved to Kentucky a few years later with the birth of my son. We wanted to be close to family. My wife's family is from here. And what was great about coming to Kentucky is there's great libertarians here in both the Libertarian Party and the Republican Party, and they're winning in the Republican Party. So we kind of got to kick our feet back and have a nice little social club, talk about when we were going to run for city council here and there. And that leads me into the answer to the third question is we were, you know, through this primary where Trump finally turned the money loose, because you know, Massey and Trump had their differences before, and Massey wiped the floor when it was just Trump. But as we started to see the money pour in and we could see Massey responding the way he responded, we were like, oh, we may need to have a conversation about what happens if Massey goes. And that was about the extent of it for months during the primary. Everybody else was like, no, let's put our energy into Massey. He's our guy. He'll be fine. And then it was election night. And we saw the results start to come in, and they were not looking good. In our group chats, Ken Molman, who's a longtime member of the party, kind of the elder statesman who's been doing this the longest here, hopped in and he goes, listen, guys, if you're going to do this, I know we've talked about it, but like, you got to go right now. You need to figure this out. You don't have weeks. You have minutes, and you need to be at the Massey rally. And so I kind of was like, for lack of a better term, F it, we ball. Let's go. Let's do this. And it's literally what I sent the text. And so somebody got the petitions ready for me, met me at the hotel. And I'll be honest with you guys, as I was driving to the hotel, I was like, no way I'm doing this. There's absolutely no way this is happening right now. What am I doing? It was one of those out-of-body experiences a little bit. So I get there in the middle of Massey's speech, and everybody is like, "In the wars, and just the place is shoulder to shoulder. People are spilling out into the hallway, and here I am with my little stack of petitions, and in the back of my head, I'm like, God, please let this go horribly wrong. Like, please let everybody tell me, don't do this. This is a bad idea. We need to kind of take a step back and regroup and do something different in 28. And the exact opposite is what happened. Everybody was like, let's go. We'll have you on the show right now. Where can I sign? I know this person. Do you have donations set up? How can I fund you? And I was like, I literally came home. I had to have like a 3-minute talk with my wife before I left. And she was pretty upset that I was doing this without a long family meeting, right? And I was like, just let me go and feel it out. And I come back and I go, I have terrible news. It went extraordinarily well. And then from there, we went gung ho, and all gas, no brakes ever since then. So
for clarification,
that's how I decided to run.
For clarification, that was at the hotel of his concession speech. You were
we got 30 signatures that night.
30 signatures. Man, that's all. Well, maybe I don't know. Like, God, that's a good start.
Well, the issue we ran into
needed
is
like.
Well, the problem we ran into is media and influencers were there too.
Gotcha,
so like
yeah.
I saw Matt Kibbe and Matt encouraged me and was like, anything you can do. But at the same time, like Matt can't sign. So we were popping around like, do you live here? Are you a voter in the district? And so, that's how it ended up being 30.
Yeah. Awesome. Right. Well, all right. So Marcus, a great segue here would be if you wanted to ask him how many signatures he needed and how the rest of the signatures.
So, Marcus, if we can coach you through how to do a podcast, this would be great.
Yeah, Marcus, that'd be a really good question.
This whole time I'm listening to him, and I'm like, this is spectacular. And then I'm like, okay, the next segment goes to the libertarian without facial hair, if that you really are a libertarian.
Oh, the real libertarian.
Tub. All right, Tub, if you want to ask that question.
Some of us have so much liberty, we don't need to have beards to hide behind and pretend like we
we're talking man stuff right now, and it is June.
Then what are you doing talking?
And we're not doing any culture war stuff. So
man stuff, we already talked about you transitioning. Man stuff comes from people who have been candidates. So for the rest of this thing, feel free to just sit down and go take a walk into the main house. Go do your thing.
Yeah. Right. Look at Lindsey Graham. He's been a candidate.
I am totally team Woodcraft right now. Tub, go ahead with your.
Woodcraft is Woodcraft. All right. So inside of this, all right. Here's the thing. Let's start with this. All right. We can get past all the things. I got things that lead up to this, but here's the first and the main question. We understand, and if you're going to follow the Massey line, you understand he's big on national debt also. That this is not going well. Okay. So here's what tends to happen. People get into DC and they have their budgets and they have things. And they go, hey, we planned on increasing spending 20 million. We're only going to increase it 10 million. And they go, that's a cut in spending. And we know that's not a cut in spending.
That's not the case.
Yeah. Okay. So would you agree that if you get in there, that you will only vote for something that cuts spending and not increases spending?
Yes. I don't have a Mike Johnson to answer to. I've made this joke, but if he'd be willing, wouldn't this be beautiful that they spend $25 million, I end up getting elected, and I just hire Thomas Massey and hand him my voter card?
Yeah, it'd just be funny. Honestly, yes.
Right?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Just you want to see the biggest Trump crash out of all time. We might kill an 80-year-old man if we do that. But no, I mean, it has to cut spending. And it not only it has to cut spending in this bill. Massey, I think, had he used what leverage he had to try the continuing resolution 1% plan, if you guys recall that. And that's why he ended up switching over to a yes on previous omnibus bills and things like that to vote for a bloated spending package. And it's because he was supposed to get out of it single issue bills. And if you don't do single issue bills where we go line by line and approve budgets, you have to cut the budget. It is law. You have to cut the budget by 1%. And that was built into that omnibus. And we just saw really quickly Mike Johnson throw that out the window and have the leverage to just ignore that rule and not abide by it. And so now we learned our lesson. There's no playing nice or strategy. If a bill doesn't have direct reductions and cuts in spending in it, I will never be a yes on it.
Okay, now, here's the thing. After the whirlwind now, because now you're in that whirlwind, and pretty soon you're going to just run and do the things in all reality. So reality is going to start hitting if it hasn't already, which it sounds like maybe somebody has, oh, man, what am I doing? So here's the thing. You understand that as libertarians, we can get excited about this run because we can say, hey, listen, here's a guy who's kind of been like us, and he's been in office all this time. But we have to understand that this isn't a walk-in for you. No. And I think that because in reality, you're still dealing, all those people who voted against Massey and voted for Gowrie are still there. Yeah. And so you have to understand that you're going to walk into this going, hey, wait a minute, this is still heavily stacked against me inside of this.
100%. Yeah.
So how do you go in there? And because here's the reality of it. You got to take Massey's people and some. That's the reality of it. So how are you going to be able to go in there and go, all right, I can take these people and take more to have a real chance at this? And if it doesn't work, what is a victory for you and for the local Libertarian Party?
Okay, so that's a big question. Let me see if I can break it down. I'll give you kind of the simple dynamics of the path, right? A lot of people believe that this district is deep red, like rural Alabama red, and it is not. I am 20 minutes from the city of Cincinnati right now. And so that gives you an idea of what like a large population center. We also have suburbs outside of Louisville. And we can kind of touch Lexington, which is a little more of a red area, but it's the suburbs of a big city. So this is not it was deep red for Thomas Massie because independents voted for him, Democrats voted for him. Hell, in 2024, Democrats didn't run a candidate against him because they realized it's a dumb investment to spend your money to run somebody against Massie in this district. And so the breakdown of registration looks like this. If there are 6 people, and this is just the easiest way to do math. If there are 6 people, 3 of those are registered as Republicans, 2 of those are registered as Democrats, and 1 of those is registered as an independent, other libertarian, something, right? There's another group. And so if I'm able to just pull 1 out of 3 Republicans, which keep in mind, these are not traditional Republicans. These are Massie Republicans. These are people who would be registered independent or would be registered libertarian if Massie or his bench of state reps and state senators, county commissioners that believe what I believe and what you believe, they would be registered differently. But anyways, if I can pull one of those 3 Republicans to me and pull the independent vote, it's 2-2-2. Now you tell me where there's another libertarian race where that exists. And so that's one of the reasons I got into this. This is a different race and this is a different place. And I wouldn't be doing this if we were out here chasing our 2%, and trying to spread our name. I got better things to do with my time, guys. And so for me, that was one, is that there is a role. A couple things that we've got to do to be able to pull those Massie people and then some. Number one is we've got to spend our time and our money wisely. As we were discussing earlier, before the camera started, there's a group of people who swung this election in the primary. Okay. And they were duped.
Marcus.
They're my parents. I'll be 39 next month. They are my parents and my grandparents. That demographic watched 4 to 5 because of the $20 million pumped in to oppose Massie. They watched sometimes 3 commercials in a row on Fox News, every single commercial break full of AI slop and lies about Thomas Massie. And they believed it was real because they were seeing so much of it. And there's exit polling that shows stories of like, well, couldn't vote for Massie. He was up in DC having threesomes with Ilhan Omar and, AOC. And we were like, it literally says on the ad, this is artificial intelligence. And so I need to understand that I am never going to have the money or the resources to reach and sway that group. But that means we have to go all in on everybody 55 and under. And that means this is not going to look like a traditional campaign that is trying to win boomers. We are going to do things a little differently. In our strategy meeting, in our very first meeting, I wrote a couple things on the board. Be authentic, tell the truth, have fun. Be simple, relatable, normal. But also, stay on offense, essentially. So we are going to go after our group. I think a lot of libertarians end up on playing defense, like defending our positions when they get into these races. And it's going to be completely different because we're going at a group that tends to agree with us, tends to believe what we believe. And we're not trying to not hurt old people's feelings. I don't mean that like as an insult, but like, you know what I mean? Like we're just not, they're not going to vote for me. So we are going to cater to and champion the message of the millennials, the early Gen Xers, and the Gen Zs.
Do you have enough of those in that area?
That's a phenomenal question. If I drove around and gave you an honest answer, it would be no. But the data suggests that we do. This has been a growing area for a while up here in Northern Kentucky, and in the rural parts, your demographics are pretty normal. People aren't moving out; they're kind of staying put. This is an area where, when you grow up here, you stay here, kind of deal. People don't leave and go off elsewhere.
Do you feel that some of?
And by the way, when I say younger, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chum.
No, you're good.
55 and under. I'm just talking about like not retired. Okay. That's
made it.
When I say I'm not talking about we got to go win 21-year-olds and get out the vote. I'm just talking about people who are 55 and under who understand, like, my kids are turning 18 and we can't afford college. They have no hope of ever buying a house. I don't understand the world that they're inheriting. And all we're trying to do is keep them away from the cult of the left. That is the group I'm talking about. Not super young people, 55 and below. This message tends to resonate with.
Okay,
all right,
so now
we need to. I'm sorry, but we need to get to a quick commercial break, real fast.
We got no commercials.
Pay the bills,
Yeah,
baby.
we do.
That kind. Okay, I was like, wait, but we got no. Nobody wants
We do.
us. There it is. That's the one.
Yeah. Are you tired of giving the business without the benefit of a reach around? You need
I don't think
to
he's
vote.
using this in his promo. I don't think this is how this
Hey,
is going.
we talked about the consult. This is the sales pitch.
This is
part.
consulting. Whoa.
I
didn't sign up for
seriously,
this consulting, and I don't think he did either.
If you're tired of not getting a reach around, you need to stop and think about this for a second. What has changed from Biden to this administration? Absolutely nothing, because everything's the same. It's time for a change, and you need to put your money where your memes are. And I have posted the link to jeremy-todd.com/donate. Don't just sit here and say and shake your head, that guy's right. That guy's right. That guy that's right needs $10, $15, $20, $25 from you for yard signs, for all kinds of great stuff that will get his message out there. I don't think he's going to be doing the AI slop like the interest from, what is it, about 500, not 500, about 5,000 miles away. What they put into this. But we need to support our candidates. And I want to get to some comments and questions directly. Let me back up. First off,
Woodcraft just made himself a huge fan.
Woodcraft.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
We're starting off with Woodcraft, and this is one of the problems is people try to define libertarians. We need to define ourselves, and this is a great question. So in 2028 in El Paso, Texas, I have no idea why they chose El Paso. I still love Woodcraft. I'm going to see them there too. Are you going for the current? Yes, I will. I will be there. I will be there. Carne asada or barbacoa tacos?
Why not both?
I was going to say, am I going first? Is this my?
No, that's you. This is all you. This is all you.
This is all me. Okay. All right. I have a strong-ish opinion on this that might be unexpected here. Okay. So, being from the South, we take our pig incredibly seriously. Mm-hmm. And it should be served a certain way, cooked a certain way over a certain wood, and anything else is trash. Barbacoa is not by definition trash, but compared to pulled pork sandwiches that you might get in Hickory, North Carolina, or Memphis, Tennessee, it is the inferior. So out of respect, barbacoa is pork, right? I'm not losing my mind.
No, they're
Texas
is the beef king.
I think you're thinking of
Texas beef is second.
I thought barbacoa was like
barbacoa is pork.
Okay, all right, good. Then I stand on business right now. Pork should be served with pulled pork sandwiches. And Marcus is correct. If I'm in Texas, it's beef. So it will be carne asada.
I'm pretty sure barbacoa is pork. I think actually it says typically made from beef, but
Typically, that's what we do out here on the west side.
Yeah. So I stand correct. This is according to Google. You can't trust those guys.
Yeah, you can. I'm telling you.
AI answered this. We trusting them. AI is why Nasty lost this election.
You know, El Paso, it has deep Mexican roots. El Pastor, it is pork, and it's I don't know, because you know,
Al Pastor. I was thinking of birria. Anybody had some birria?
Birria.
Oh, gotcha.
Birria is either goat or beef generally. Okay, then Woodcraft is coming in again. I love Woodcraft. This guy, you know, we share. Cincinnati should belong to Kentucky. Ohio shouldn't be a state. That is 100%. I have no idea why Ohio is in the United States. It has no place.
And that's what
Ohio. Listen, Ohio should not be a state, but there's not a single person in Kentucky who wants Cincinnati. We can give it to Indiana. They can have it. Everybody is like, so are you gonna run on like build a wall across the bridge? Because people do not like them bridge crossers over here on the Kentucky.
Well, Ohio can be ceded to Canada as a peace offering between.
Listen, have you guys ever thought about what we could squeeze out of Canada if we just gave them Portland? It's called a win-win, baby.
Yeah. Can we go all the way down to California with them? Like, give them the whole West Coast.
Well, I don't know that California Canada can afford California.
Let's give them the West Coast for future considerations. We don't even need an answer right now. Just take it.
I don't understand how you guys are going to get rid of the fourth largest economy in the world.
Yes.
And still survive as a nation.
I just said Portland.
Yeah.
Well, Portland
really contribute to the economy. They're
certainly
not moving the deodorant market, you know.
They can have Oregon and Washington, as far as I'm concerned.
You got all the yuppies in their feelings right now.
I'm saying nothing, because you try to run for a national seat, you guys are getting yourselves in a whole lot of trouble right there. All right. All I'm saying is I think Ohio is great.
Well, they ain't voting in District 4, are they?
Horse
so
plot.
Doesn't matter.
That's horse plot.
I'll take some money. So if you know any,
Thank you, Free.
Please donate.
Listen, Free and I are going to come into a direction where we might actually be friends. Free and I want to make that very clear. All right. So that's not
a flex. I don't even know why you said that right now.
As the host of another show, he can understand. Didn't I just call him not having a show a little while ago? But as a host of another show, let me ask you this then, Jeremy. All right, so here's the thing. You get up to DC. Everybody just wants to get to DC, get in those groups. They kind of stay there. What do you think that once you get there, what is your responsibility to the people back home?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think Massey. Well, one, my first responsibility is have Massey and Scott Horton on speed dial, because I'm going to need somebody to read these actual bills, and you boys are a little slow. It's not really I'm slow. I just got ADHD, so my mind starts wandering off in the middle of these bills. I really need the pros on this, and but no, I think that to the people back home, it's extremely important to let them know, and I think this is what separates me from the other candidates, honest to goodness. They both have parties to answer to. I don't have to answer to the Libertarian Party in Washington, D.C. because they're not there. You know, well, now, don't get me wrong. I think my friend Jamie Remy is maybe going to pull an upset out in Pennsylvania and join me, but then we answer to each other. But you know, Ed is going to go to D.C., the Republican opponent. He's going to go to D.C. He's going to turn over his voter card to Mike Johnson and say, do whatever you need to do. And then he's going to go and go to, $1,000 dinners and rub elbows with the donors and learn how to do insider trading. I mean, this is a grift for him, 100%. And the Democrat is just going to have to answer. She's a freshman who is a one-term Democrat if she wins, and she's just going to fall in the party line. So for me, the only person who will actually be transparent with the people in our district will come back and host town halls, and we'll hear from the people. I think it's important to vote my principles. I'm the one that they put there, but also to come back and hear from them and listen to what's important to them and fight alongside them. Because I can promise you they're not going to get that from the other two candidates.
How is your area feeling about the war specifically?
I mean, there's a hard, it's hard to say. We are chronically online and we talk about these things. Most people in their normal everyday lives don't talk about it. I think they have more like pressing issues in their day-to-day life than our current bombing campaign in Iran, which is what got us to their pressing issues in the first place, right? Like they can feel the pinch of gas prices, they can see the prices going up, but the average American doesn't have the ability to connect the dots that we're printing money to spend over here on this pet issue for a foreign country, which is why they're buying our politicians here, by the way. So we're printing all this money and your dollars are becoming worth less. And that's why you can't afford groceries. That's why you can't afford daycare. That's why you can't afford a new car. And it's $70,000 to buy a car now. And that's why your kids have no hope of ever owning a home, is because we are fighting these stupid wars and blowing all of our money over there. When you start to connect the dots, that's how it resonates with them locally. But we don't have, no war with Iran protests or anything out here.
Yeah, I think we need to retake the America First movement for the Libertarian Party.
100%.
But I have this question for you that I wrote down. It was like, why is liberty so extreme? Because with Thomas Massie, all he ever did was do what America or vote and do what was in America's best interest at all times. And I don't like Republicans at all. I don't like Democrats at all, a little bit more. But I don't like Republicans because I think they're a tad bit worse than Democrats in this one simple thing, because they promise you all of these grandiose America First things. And then once they got your vote, once they've got you on the hook, it's a bait and switch. Because to tell people you inherited the worst inflation ever in this country, and then turn around and tell Americans, I love inflation, I love the numbers. My dad always told me, don't ever talk to people like they're stupid. And that's what Democrats and Republicans do. They sell you fear and then talk to you like you're stupid. But why is liberty such an extreme position with the American voters, in your opinion?
It's a really good question. I think the answer is a lot bigger than anything we can get into on a podcast, but it goes back to, but maybe I'll be able to answer this in like a 2-minute Dan Spots video we may or may not be working on. Ultimately, we have forgotten our heritage. We've forgotten who we are. I heard once that Canada became a country out of compliance. America became one out of rebellion. And that rebellion was over our liberty. Just read the Declaration of Independence. If you don't get fired up, you're not alive. Well, the problem is I don't think a lot of people get fired up anymore. Like, we have been programmed from an early age through school that government good. Government is here at democracy good. It's here to serve the people. It's here to do this. And then we go on about our lives and kind of forget that it exists, except for, a couple weeks every other year when the campaign gets hot. And so I believe that's kind of why liberty has become radical or different. It's because, one, most Americans are asleep at the wheel on the issues that are affecting them. And then the other one is, you see one part, like these people like Thomas Massie stand alone. It may be 421-1 when he votes, and he's the only one. And so it's just different. It's somebody standing radically for a principle and something they believe in. But when you sit down with folks and talk about the issues, we're not crazy when it comes down to it. We're just different than what they had been programmed to believe. And you have to kind of get a little pissed off and fired up before you can find this position. I don't think you can comfortably reach libertarianism. You have to discover some discomfort first, and that moves you to libertarian solutions. So maybe that's a small answer that, like I said, we may try to answer in a bigger way.
Word.
Later.
Eric?
Yeah, so I kind of alluded to this question earlier, but in the petition gathering segment of your campaign, how quickly were you able to gather the petitions needed? How many were needed? What was the strategy for those that are out there, other libertarians that got to gather petitions?
Bro, we had no strategy. What are you talking about?
He says libertarian.
It was pure spite and effort. We had 12 days to pull it off from when we announced that I was going to be the nominee. And we started with those 30 or so at the Massey rally. And then that got a bit of, attention and help. And we have a pretty good core of libertarians here in this district and across the state. And they all were like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Like that's a good thing. We've kind of been able to kick our feet up a little bit and, over the last few years, but it also meant we weren't necessarily organized right away. But the good news is the moment we announced, we were completely bombarded because of the disgust and spite that people still felt from Massey being ousted. And so we had over 30 people spread out across the district that either we'd never met before or didn't know, so 10, 15, 20 people that we didn't necessarily know. And they were like, we're in, let's go. I'll get my parents to sign. I'll get my family members to sign, my coworkers to sign, and 5, 10 at a time. We needed 400, which doesn't sound like a lot compared to like my friend Jamie in Pennsylvania, who's got to get 5,000 to get on the ballot for the same role. But
in 12 days though.
It was 12 days. Exactly. So we had to grind a little bit. And then here was the problem. A bunch of us, the day after I was announced as the party's candidate, went to Michigan. We took the whole party. Like, all the delegates were gone for 4 or 5 days. And so we are scrambling to kind of put this together. And I knew we needed to fundraise. So y'all, I'm on the back roads. Like for some reason, to get to Grand Rapids, I have to drive through residential neighborhoods, apparently. And so I'm on these back roads, like setting up Stripe accounts and crazy stuff to try and get things going. And we were able to raise a little bit of money off that spite early on, and really thankful for those early donors. And then we realized, okay, we feel we're moving in a good direction. We feel good that we can get to 400, but we almost have an obligation now to hire a professional. And so we did hire a professional to pad the stats for us a little bit, and brought him in for 4 or 5 days. And ended up with 750. So too big to rig, baby. Ultimately, we exceeded all those expectations, and hopefully that's a number that the GOP looks at and they go, we're not even going to try.
And just for clarification, people considering running, when you say hire a professional, do you mean hire a professional like it's an organization that does this? One individual, one individual that is in the Libertarian Party and very good at petition. It's his full-time job is to.
What
do you mind name dropping if that?
It was Andy. If anybody knows Andy, I believe it's Andy Jacobs.
Okay, my bad. I was just curious.
And he's a legit pro. So he did a great job for us.
All right, before
we would have, and just to clarify, we would have hit the number without him. But it was
still that's a good security blanket. You know what I mean? 100%. Like, hey, look, we ain't letting them throw this out.
All right, so this is important before we move on. We have a $100 donation from Woodcraft. which is awesome because
Tub, you could double what Woodcraft did if you wanted to.
Well, Woodcraft is already saying another 100 in matching for small donations.
All right, then you got
Tub. We're 4 days away from Tub getting
$10 at a time, baby.
EBT check of the month.
I'll do 20. I'll do 20.
Okay,
there you go.
Oh, there we go. We got another 20. Do we have anybody else that wants to get a shout out?
Can I hear 30?
Marcus, you want to do 20?
I'll do another 20.
All right. I'll do another 20 as long as my wife lets me.
Well, Eric can't do 20.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we need 40 from the chat, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So hey, and like I said, we're running this a little bit differently. Tub talked about signs and things like that. Let me tell you exactly what this money is going to go by. We have some very big 4th of July parades coming up. And like I said, we're gonna do things a little bit differently here. I won't spoil all of the teasers, but we are not going to be handing out candy like every other candidate. If you are a grown, imagine. Let me paint the picture here for you a minute. Okay, so you show up to a 4th of July parade, right? You got your family with you and everything. And a parade float walks by with some boomer in like his wrinkled khakis, and his name is Ed Gowrain, and he's waving like this from the back of his truck, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? And then but you can hear in the distance like pure, unadulterated patriotism, and it's coming your way. And as they approach, you start to smell the delicious smells of 4th of July, and a grown man with a giant eagle on his t-shirt tucked into his jorts walks up and hands you a fully cooked glizzy with your family. Okay. All right.
That's a hot dog.
And Freebird plays in the background loudly, right? You remember who that is.
Leonard Skinner,
our team. So you guys will be purchasing these hot dogs with this money and making absolutely memorable things happen at these parades for people. And that's what I mean. We got to stand out. We got to be different. We're not RC Cola. All right. They're Coke and Pepsi. We're freaking Monster Energy drink. And that's how we're going at this.
I hope there wasn't 3 of those a day. I'm just kidding.
I hope there wasn't any kids listening, because that was some sexy liberty right there.
I feel a little dirty and violated. I feel like I need a shower or something.
We have to go back to Woodcraft, because he says, "Put your money where your mouth is."
All right, I'm pulling it up,
Jeremy.
All right. So two things. One is, Marcus, do me a favor, real quick. Text me the link for donations, please.
Okay.
Okay.
It's coming in. I got Woodcraft right there.
Listen, we don't encourage Woodcraft. Please don't. I mean, I'm glad he finally did.
Appreciate you, brother. We'll make the good things happen.
He finally did something that's not like Woodcraft. He actually did something good here. So inside of that. So let me ask you this real quick. Because I know we're getting too close to time. So historically, many times when people get burned in a primary like they just did, you got a lot of people who feel like they got burned inside of this. A lot of times, they stay home. There's you know what? I don't care. So you're going to run that risk. I think realistically, historically says you're going to run that risk. Does that help you or hurt you?
It depends on the goal, I think. I think our number one goal is to send Ed Gowrain home with a loss. I think there needs to be some sort of consequence where you can't just come in and buy our seat. So whether that's me spoiling an election and it going to a feckless Democrat for 2 years, and then she gets voted out and replaced by one of Massey's, clones essentially that we have here, I'm good with that, because if we allow Ed Gowrain to win this seat, he will be the next Mitch McConnell. He will turn over his voter card. He will have zero input. He will not come back and meet the people. He's not interested. He wouldn't meet them on the campaign trail. What the hell makes you think once he gets into DC, he's going to be interested in the people of this district? But the point being, He's going to go up there and he's going to get rich by doing insider training and rubbing elbows with the lobbyists. And then he's going to find out that this is a real cushy role for him. And he's going to camp out and stay there for 8, 10, 12 years. It's going to be impossible to get out. But if we keep him out of this seat, somebody great will follow either me or the Democrat. I can assure you of that from the people here. There is a deep bench of superstars that you have never heard of nationally. But people like Savannah Maddox, TJ Roberts, Stephen Doan, they are rock stars and they are waiting in the wings, and they will take over and be the next Massey that carries the torch. I just hope to be the stopgap.
For those that don't remember, we've had TJ Roberts on the Black Powder podcast.
TJ's such a savage.
Yeah. So, and like a lot of people talked about, and they tried to use it against Massey. Oh, he was a fan of term limits, but he didn't, voluntarily term limit himself. Like, what if when he came out swinging before this primary, he kind of knew what was happening, but he was trying to wake up a nation and wake up a district and show the corruption and the problems with our election system. What if, in his mind, he said the two-party system is broken and I am willing to sacrifice myself to expose it? I'm just saying, what if people...
What if Massey's playing 4D chess, right? I'd certainly trust Massey playing 4D chess more than Trump's sub 100 IQ ass.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely trust the MIT scientist.
I want to shout out Kenneth Blevins from the great state of Oklahoma. They're not a Commonwealth. Don't hold that against them, but they do put gravy on all of their food. So that's not cool. Very
Gravy's good.
Kenneth, I'll tell you, we were real close to moving to Oklahoma.
Hey, Tubb only eats at Famous Amos, and that's the only way you get your food.
I had Famous Amos today. It was horrible.
I know.
It was horrible.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Well, we have another comment from Woodcraft. If Tubb throws some money towards Jeremy right now, they can have a truce. And I'm trying to stop this W on W crime.
I just did mine. You can see my
name. I sent him the link.
Hey, put the link back up there, Marcus.
Okay.
So I could go ahead.
I texted it to you right now.
All right. Well, then
I'll put it in our group text.
All right, then I'll wait till I have my wife's permission, and then I'll do it.
Okay.
Scout's
so
honor.
we
Hold on,
usually like to keep this for an hour.
Marcus.
Oh wow, I'm in the chat. How about that?
I got an expensive one or an important one here.
I told you I don't do Facebook. Jeremy, that's my crew running that.
There you go.
I do not do Facebook. That is my crew.
How are you able to multitask? Anyways,
I know, right?
So, Marcus, I have this important one. And Jeremy, I hope this doesn't burn any bridges, but Young Americans for Liberty got involved in Massey's campaign, but they did it a little late. But for those that don't know, usually they only do state house races, state legislator races. This may have been the first congressional race they ever got involved in, and sent door knockers. Any chance that they're able to or willing to send some door knockers your way to help? And would that help? And is door knocking a strategy for your campaign?
100%. There's only one way to find out, and we gotta run this race as best we can. Here's what I'll tell you about these groups who could get involved and make a difference that I've learned in politics. If we kind of crap the bed over the next 3 months, we don't raise enough money to be a serious candidate. We crash and burn. The team doesn't stick together, and we don't hit sort of our goals and metrics, and we're polling at like 4%. Why would they? Right?
Yeah.
Like, why would Massey stick his neck out for to not make a difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if we can raise the money, get the ground game going, make an impact locally, get in the polls, get in the debates, and we're polling at 20, 25, 30%. Again, a lot of people don't know this. Kentucky does not have a runoff for this race. And there are 4 candidates. Now, one of them, God bless his soul, I think he's probably a good kid. But the 3 of us are legitimate, serious contenders. And, you could win this with 34% of the vote. And so we need to be polling in a way to where these groups and organizations feel like they can swing it. And but yes, door knocking, absolutely a great strategy for us, something that we believe in and will be doing regardless. It's just, will we have the troops to back us up? Will depend on what we do before then.
Gotcha.
All right, so I want to get to this because today was actually a good day for liberty. If you knew what happened,
You left the party.
Hey, I try to keep this this podcast kind of like sophisticated, but then we come in with lowbrow Tub and his nonsense. But FISA was defeated today.
Yeah,
and it was led by
a clean FISA. Yeah, it was defeated.
A clean FISA was defeated today, and the politicians that went up there and said, "Oh, you guys weakened our national defense. We can't just warrantly let's spy on Americans and foreign assets now." I was like, why do you need to hide this? There is no threat to America whatsoever, as the great Ron Paul once said. Because what are you going to do to America that isn't going to get a response where your home turns into rubble and mass shrapnel injuries to innocent people all over the place? Nobody wants to fight America in any way, sense, shape, or form. No. Because one of the worst things you can hear in a foreign land is the Americans are coming. Because it's not going to be nice. Whether it's the Marines or the Air Force, it's not going to be the Air Force.
You were doing fine to write about their Air Force.
I'm just saying the Air Force can bomb anybody in this world within 16 to 20 hours.
The Air Force doesn't even have the best pilots. The Navy does, which is just...
I agree with that. I would say the Marines.
Like the Navy.
Me personally, I'm biased towards Marines because...
Yeah, I know. We know you are. You like them.
Oh, they're sexy as hell, bro. I'm only about an hour and a half away from Camp Pendleton.
All right, listen, can I get us quickly back to where we belong? Because that is not getting better. All right,
well, you brought up the Pride Month issues, and we said we were going to stay away from the culture war.
Here we are.
So,
here we are.
Yeah.
At some point, California was going to mention Pride Month. At some point, it was going to happen.
We're the fourth largest economy in the world.
We are truly about out of time. Let me ask you a couple of quick, easy ones. Okay?
First off. Well, hey, no, I mean, I've got time if you guys can stick around past 10. Because
I do.
What Marcus just went over, I think, is a huge topic of conversation and bleeds into some very, very, very important issues locally. Guys, the reason people like Tom Cotton sit up and try to defend FISA is because if FISA gets removed and shut down, all of his donors lose billions of dollars because these data centers are not a property rights issue, guys. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not about it. It's not an environmental issue either. There is no profit in making AI videos for social media, and there is not enough profit in corporations that you can extract to pay for these things. These are going to be used for government contracts to do the flock cameras, to do the mass surveillance, to do CBDCs, and to do the social credit system that eventually gets implemented. And that's exactly what they want. That's what these data centers are for. And so all of these politicians need FISA to stay in place so that those data centers are still able to get the government contracts that they need later in order to be profitable. That's it. That's the whole game. And that's why they're defending it. And because without FISA, now you have legal challenges to the flock cameras and what they can actually be used for. It can make CBDCs potentially illegal. It's a massive hurdle, and it's why it has to be voted down and destroyed, and why we have to fight these data centers and flock cameras with every single fiber of our being. Because, guys, once you're there is no, that's 1984. Close the book. We're done. It is over. This is the fight of our lives.
It is. I mean, I grew up in the 90s because I'm pretty young. I'm only 27 years
No,
old.
you didn't. You grew up in the 80s.
But
Use the lie.
if you watched,
man in the 90s,
You're just gonna sit there and
you
try
were
to
probably
lie.
already married, had kids.
quiet. I'm making my point. But if you watch Terminator, where they're explaining what happened with Skynet, I mean, this is not that far off that plot. And I'm like, damn, we already saw the outcome of this. If you watch, they made a whole series of movies. I think they're up to 8, 9, 10 movies with Terminator when they made AI and these data centers and it decided, we really don't need you anymore because you've automated everything. And now I could, I remember I'm in IT. I remember debating this guy. I was like,
Nerd.
No, it's the school system IT. It's not the same.
It's this is I was in the private sector way before I delved into that.
Went over to the dark side.
Can I finish my point real quick?
No, give it a shot, Easy E.
I'm about to bring this back around. But the thing about it is you guys kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm
good.
All right, next question.
No. But we saw what happened in Terminator, and now we're actually fulfilling that mission with these billionaires because Planeteer, their main customer is the U.S. government. And they are the main purveyors of this data collection and all of this stuff that goes directly against the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And we as Americans, we still have, and I blame the public education system. This is another reason why we should get rid of the Department of Education, because it is churning out these dumbasses that just simply refuse to think for themselves and think people like Biden and Trump have their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
So what's your position on the Department of Education?
You said all of that to just ask you what they felt about the
Department of Education. I said abolish it today. We had Kentucky.
You guys threw me off.
I posted today to abolish it immediately.
There goes your job, Marcus.
That's a great first step.
I'm almost to retirement, so screw them.
No.
You grew up in the 90s. So make those
in the 90s. I'm a millennial.
It's pretty simple to crunch the numbers. And this was my post today. There's the Kentucky Administrator of the Year resigned without resigning, demanding 1 year of pay for not working, even though they didn't complete their 3-year contract. It was an eye-opening moment for a lot of people that even our god-awful teachers unions oppose this guy. But administrators, even in a place like Kentucky, are making $250,000 a year. Wow. There are schools that have a principal for every single grade. The administrative bloat of the public education system there's no other way to describe it other than it is a government jobs program. We don't need all of this. That's why it costs $19,000 a year in Kentucky to educate a kid in the public school system, while private schools are $9,000 a year and churning out significantly better results. It's this massive administrative bloat that's brought on by the Department of Education. And kill it. Day one. It was a promise of Trump. And it's one that I would celebrate if he just came out and did. And he can just do it. It's easy. Just end it. Send it back. And just the absurdity of and this is a libertarian thing through and through. Again, if you go to Portland, Oregon, you go to the Bayou in Louisiana, and you go to rural Tennessee or Iowa even, you may as well have visited 4 different countries that all speak the same language, because that's about all these people have in common. Yet DC thinks they're brilliant enough to come up with an education plan for all of those different people. And it's absurd. it should all go locally and be handled locally, and the federal government should have absolutely nothing to do with education.
One of the biggest issues with the government school system isn't just that they're trying to put the same curriculum out to everybody. It's California and New York. They're the issues. And I don't say that because of politics.
And Texas.
They order
you got to throw Texas in there.
Yeah, Texas too.
Yeah, you have to throw Texas in there.
Because
it's actually California and Texas that do the biggest books.
Well, because what is, unless it shifted, it's always been New York and California. They were the biggest.
It has shifted. I remember
books.
reading about this. It's California and Texas that are the main ones that are doing the books.
And they
for
geared
the whole
it towards
country.
whoever's buying the books. And those are more liberal areas. And so guess what? And so they just make the curriculum fit all of that, which just goes to prove what you're saying. There's no way you can educate them all the same. Now, listen, I taught for 7 years in a private Christian school. And I tell people now, I say, listen, here's what I believe. Homeschool, private school, send your kids out in the woods to be trained by wolves, and then government schools. Those are your best options.
Couldn't agree more.
And here's the thing is, there are a number of people who are starting to go, yeah, like this, the government school system is failing. Very similar to property taxes. There's a lot of people who are coming out going, yeah, that's right. But isn't that funny how nothing's changing? Like nothing's changing. People we're getting this big rise, and there's a big rise of people now who are like, don't like government overall and what they're doing and how it's being handled. But you watch how many are still just going to go back in and basically vote the same way.
Can I answer that?
Usually our challenge. Now, when I say our, I don't mean Marcus. It's usually our challenge as candidates that we have to go and do. Because we're going to go tell them, hey, I want to make your life better by taking stuff away. And they're like, and to them, that does not sound better because we're so trained that government's helping me. So you're going to have to undo that. Even in your area, that's something that's got to be undone. So how do you go in and tell people, I'm here for you, I'm here to help you, I want to get rid of the government school system? And they're going to go, wait a moment.
So
I'm going to watch my kid all day.
This is great. All right. Glad you said this, because this is, I worked on this a little bit today. But you don't. We have to stop playing defense. Okay? It is not our obligation to go to people and explain to them, oh, well, we're going to eliminate X, Y, Z, and here's how technically it's going to make sense for you, right? They don't care, right? And when you're in a third party, what people look for is an excuse not to vote for you. They don't look at it and go, oh, well, I align with him 90% of the way. They'll go vote for the candidate that is 51% over your 90% because of the 10%. So we're going to say as little as possible. If somebody asks me directly, I'm happy to answer those questions and give them the details. And in a one-on-one setting, I can have that conversation to win them over and make it make sense. But you can't blast the concepts out to the masses and hope that they get it, right? What people want to hear that you're going to do is be honest, tell the truth, be authentic, and be somebody they like and can trust. That's half the battle, first and foremost. If you don't think vibes matter in politics, it matters a lot. And so we're running, okay, vibes first, right? People got to like us. And then from there, we're going to talk about what matters to them and impacts their daily lives and make it simple and easy to understand. Why can't my kids afford a house? Why can't I afford groceries? Why are people having to take second jobs? And then explain that it's pretty simple. Spending, the war, and then the reason you have spending in the war is because billionaires come in and buy your politicians. So don't let them anymore. And I'm the only one who can't be bought.
I have.
So go ahead.
You good, Tub?
Yeah, I'll be all right.
So real quick, before, and I'm not trying to rush this, but what you were just talking about made me, for some reason, think about, and Tub can attest to this, speaking as little as possible, but also taking every advantage you can to speak to your opponent's audience. And what I mean by that is, and Tub, this is true. When I was running, I went to I ran as a Libertarian.
Every
single
one.
I went to every Republican club meeting And they would let me
Okay.
in. They wouldn't let me speak. They wouldn't let me pass out my stuff, but they'd let me in and listen. And afterwards, I went outside and I passed out my literature until security ran me off. That helped me play a little bit of guerrilla warfare. I was able to recruit a lot of Republican support, a lot of donors, a lot of once I switched to that head up race against a terrible Republican, which I'm kind of considering your race that in a sense there's a Democrat candidate, but we know the only way they have a chance to win is if you break records for a Libertarian. You know what I mean? That's the only way this Democrat wins. So that's a win-win.
And what's funny about it, Eric, is when you start crunching the numbers, if I pull the numbers necessary to help the Democrat win, I win. Yeah. Like it's a toss-up at that point. And
exactly. So, if you steal enough from him, and I was kind of running these numbers in my head too. If you took the one from the R, the one from the third, but if you take a half from the D's, which you're expecting to get 2 out of the 6, if you just get a half, or not even a half, like
a nudge
votes from those Democrats. And I'm not saying you got to change your messaging, but there's enough classical liberals left, those old blue dog Democrats left in the party. Now that might be the boomer Democrat vote. I'm just saying that might the old blue dog. Tubb used to be one of them. Look at him. He's sitting here on this podcast.
Tubb's just old. You don't need the blue dog out. Just stop with Tubb at the old.
Let's be very clear. I voted for Bill Clinton twice, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Y'all can say whatever you want. If we had somebody who ran today like Bill Clinton ran,
he'd be the last balance. The last balanced budget, right, was under.
If you listen now to the things that he's been. Now, I've been saying for years that if Kennedy ran today, he'd have to be a Republican. And I'm beginning to say that about Bill Clinton now. I'm like,
he would.
I don't think the Democrat Party would take him anymore. I don't think they take him.
Or
but you know what he
did?
The same thing that you were just saying, and that you said also, Jeremy, was the idea. You know what Bill Clinton did? He went and said, "Oh, that's what the Republicans think. Watch, I'm going to take that idea," and he did, and he made it his issue, and it worked. And so we can do that same type of thing, and that's what Eric was saying. You kind of get in there, and you say, "Okay, well, what are they talking about? Well, let's steal it from them." And I think that what we have to do as libertarians, we struggle with this one. We struggle with incrementalism. Get a small win. Get the small thing and go. Like, don't go out there and say, "Hey, we want to get rid of the school." Go out there and start saying, "Hey, do you really think they're doing the best job?" And let them start going, "Hey, wait a minute. You're right. They are failing." And at that point, they decide to get rid of the school system. And you don't have to be the guy who's taking it away from them. But that doesn't happen when you go out this weekend. That's something you get in office. You start saying, "Hey," you start letting it fly. Or even just as you slowly campaign, like what you said. You kind of, I'll have this conversation here and get that person on board. Okay, one done. You know what that one's going to go do? Sit there and go, that dude was right. And I think that if we can do that properly, we start having real wins. We basically, libertarians like to talk about the Overton window, and we can make that thing shift. We don't understand, though, that we don't shift the window and get the win at the same time. We shift the window, get the conversations going, and then it happens. Now, real quick, I'll tell you, Eric knows that when we were running here locally, I had some ideas for the police. And as we were running, we had all the sheriff candidates there, the mayoral candidates, all the type of things here in Jacksonville running at the same time. And remember, I had that one idea. And Eric even goes, "Hey, the guy who's running for sheriff," he goes, "Hey, he's taking your ideas." I go, "I don't care. I don't care. Have them." And he actually won his race as for sheriff. Don't care. Once again, it's not who gets the credit for the ideas. If we can make that shift. And I think that that's where Massey was effective. I think it was more of a, "Hey, let's start having this conversation." And I think he brought a lot of things out, a lot of good things. I think he helped our party a lot. But you're not Massey. And I don't mean that ugly. Like, you're not. Like, you don't have the history of Massey. You don't have the well-known of Massey. So you're going to kind of come in under his shadow a little bit. And 100%. You're going to have to find your way to get out of it.
His voice, you're gonna have to find his voice.
And my example and advice about like sneaking into the Republican club meetings and or Democrat club meetings, I didn't win, so it might not. You know what I mean? Maybe take that advice with a grain of salt, but it's a way to get in front of those people that may have never heard of you. and then get those one-on-one conversations off to the side after the meetings.
Yeah.
And a lot of your work, I'm imagining, if it's door knocking and phone calling and text banking and fundraising, a lot of that happens from sun up to sundown. And a lot of times the club meetings happen after dark. You know, the suns went down. Yeah. If your schedule is available and you're not busy and your family will let you, your wife will let you get away to another club meeting. Like, I get it. I understand what it's like to run a real campaign for a year and a half. You know what I mean? So it's tough to always get away from your family. But if you're available and you're not doing anything, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but instead of scrolling X and arguing who's the real libertarian, you could go talk to someone who you could go out in the real world after dark to a Republican club meeting and talk to someone who isn't a libertarian
after
but
dark,
might be willing to vote for a libertarian.
That's why his wife didn't want him going out. He's going out to clubs after dark. That was the problem.
I mean, I don't know why you people. Why are you people keep saying after dark?
What do you mean, you people?
Hey, listen, Jeremy, let me ask you a question. Because here's the thing. There's going to be a number of Republican votes that you're not going to get. Like, you're just not. And that's fine.
The boomer votes.
Are there some Democrat issues that you can go, I can agree with them on this one, that I might be able to take some Dems and steal some of them to your side? What would those be?
I think, you guys ever been in sales? Any of y'all?
Yes.
Somewhat, yeah.
I hated it.
All right. So everybody's done it. The real key to being good at sales is before you make your pitch or you talk about how great your product is, what do you have to do? You got to nail down the problem and the pain point, right? Democrats and libertarians often see eye to eye on the problems that we face. Healthcare is too freaking expensive. Cost of things is way too freaking expensive. Wages are too low. They just prescribe the wrong solutions. And so I think the easy answer there is to continue to harp on these affordability issues for younger people. Some of them are. The interesting thing about Democrats to me is a lot of them are made up of like single issue, social issue voters. That's the pro-choice party, period. They all go over there, things like that. But where we can align is talking about how healthcare is too expensive. But the solution isn't big, government programs like Obamacare that make it more expensive. Education is too expensive, but the answer isn't to throw more government money at it. And so identifying with them on the problems themselves at least gives you the opportunity. One of the things that I hate that Republicans do to especially young Democrats is talk down to them about work harder, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? Like back in my day, like they just insult the intelligence of these people who were told all you got to do is go. All you got to do is go get a college education, take out the loans, get the college education, and the world is your oyster afterwards. And then they graduate and have to go work at Starbucks and DoorDash, and they're like, I was lied to. Obviously, this system is wrong. It's that's pushing people towards socialism, because what other solution is there to offer? Well, there's ours. They just haven't heard it yet. And so it's an opportunity to reach them on the problems, tell them the problems are real, tell them what they are experiencing is real, but point back to it's always the Fed, buddy. Like the more money we print, the worse this is going to get, and we got to stop.
I always, when I'm talking to people about liberty issues, and especially on the conservative side, I say if you want socialism, keep down this path of corporatism where it does not reflect the true values of America, where it's influenced by foreign countries or mega global corporations that it's not capitalism. Because what you saw during COVID was the destruction of the economic engine of the United States, which is small business. Who was open during COVID? the big box
mega
stores.
corporations.
Everybody else was shut the hell down, and the government was like, here, take this money and pay your employees. Oh, you didn't pay your employees? We're taking you to court. You defrauded the government out of this PPP loan, and now you're going to jail. It was a whole system that was I don't like conspiracy theories, and it wasn't a conspiracy.
Because they keep becoming facts.
Well, that's the thing. When you make things conspiracy theories, a lot of people automatically dismiss you. All you need to do is present the facts. And it was a fact that the government engineered this BS that destroyed these small businesses and rewarded these mega corporations that were able to do these super PACs and all of this stuff where they can get unlimited funds that ran people like Thomas Massey that were the only Republican that I would probably ever vote for, ran him out of office. And that's the saddest part about where we are right now as a nation, because I blame boomers like Tub.
You're older than me. You're old. Listen, you're older than me.
No, I'm not. Okay? You can't prove that.
Marcus, older, blacker, and uncut.
Well, I don't listen. I don't think he's blacker, to be honest with you. I just don't.
Yeah, you've been in Florida a while. You kind of
controversial.
I have two very quick questions, and then I gotta go. Y'all can keep doing whatever you want. All you crazy.
Well, we'll start wrapping it. This will be our end segment.
Yeah, we can wrap it up here.
All right, Tub, go ahead with your.
And then you just dump me out. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are two very quick, very easy questions. One is first off, let me say this. Thank you, Woodcraft, for stepping up and donating.
Hey,
I'll give him credit for that.
Real patriot right there.
But before you go on, I gave $21 and I gave
20. I gave 20.
No. I gave 21 and then paid the fee. The fee. So I outdid
it all came through.
There y'all go.
We can afford our money where the dogs now.
And I don't even like memes. All right, so here's the thing. Is your wife on board now?
Yes. We have to have kind of like serious talks. And like we had to have a serious one last night. I'll go ahead and put this out in the ethos. We all watched what they did to Massey, and Massey's a great man. Like I didn't prepare for a run. There's no telling what they will dig up on my Twitter, but here's the reality. They don't even have to dig it up anymore. With AI and me being on these shows, like it's incredibly easy to steal my voice. And I'm probably giving them ideas right now because they're all, they don't know about this
they're
stuff.
Watching the show.
There's reality of like, they could have me deep faked in going to a hotel room with AOC, and it wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket for their finances, right?
I mean,
so
come on.
Have you go to a hotel room?
She's not ugly.
I'm not saying that. She joked. She was like, one of her friends told her she should have she should let it leak that she's having an affair. That way we go ahead and get in front of all the drama, and then it makes me look like the good guy in the end, right? Those are the things that like we have to have conversations about. And when you're running on a third party, you got to put your address on some things. And so it's about like, hey, make sure the security system, make sure the doors are locked, make sure you don't open the door for anybody. If you see any suspicious cars or anything, like report it immediately. We don't play around with that sort of stuff. Now, other than that, like she's excited and glad I'm doing it. It's tough with the time away and how I have to be engaged because I'm still working the 9 to 5. But she is enthusiastic.
Because listen, if your spouse isn't on board, you got an even bigger battle ahead.
Yeah.
And I tell people in the Libertarian Party, I've had many conversations with certain people inside the party, and I tell them, I say, listen, there is nothing going on in the Libertarian Party that is worth your family. It just doesn't exist. It's just not there. And yours is a little more high-profile race, obviously, that you're getting into, and not even just for you, but just because of the attention period. And so my final last easy question, then you can just drop me off, Marcus. I'll talk to y'all later on. Is
drop yourself off.
What's that?
Drop yourself off.
Oh, okay. All right. So inside of this,
go drop yourself off.
Just, I don't even know what that means anymore.
Anyways,
I don't speak boomer. So inside of this, do you think? Cause I know this one here you got rushed into. It was like, oh crap, we're doing this. Mm-hmm. Do you think you would have ended up running in the future for something?
No.
Okay, so then
no. Wait. Let me back up. When you say something, yes.
Okay.
President
had always planned on getting involved in city council, that level sort of thing, in the nonpartisan races, where it's a little less, not less consequential, but less time consuming and that sort of thing. Yes, did want to get active and do those things, but to do something like this, hell no.
But listen, here's the thing. The thing about this race here, they can get you some great name recognition for when you do decide to run for that lower office.
Yeah, it's one of the most practical pieces of advice before you go, Tub, and from a controversial person in the party, so I will not release their name, was, listen, you're going to make connections that you wouldn't otherwise make, and this is an opportunity for you to leverage positions that are libertarian with them. And that is how you can start to change culture.
That right there is exactly what Eric and I did. Specifically, because we made relationships out of running that later on, those have led into other things.
Well, it ran me out of the entire state.
Yeah, I got you out of the whole state. Gentlemen, we'll talk to y'all later on.
All right, thanks, Tub.
All right.
I love you, Tub.
No, you don't. That's cool.
Yeah, I love you.
Say it back. Just kidding.
Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, no, hey, Jeremy, this was great. Look, your race might be like he said, this is it's nationwide. People back home in Jacksonville, Florida, that are in the Republican Party and active are happy you're running. I just want you to know.
Hell yeah.
I know that's not even in Kentucky, not in your district.
Yeah.
Like people that are still in the Republican Party, but they're the Liberty, the Revenant left over. The Ron Paul revolution in the Republican Party in Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out. I sent them this link, or they follow my social media. They said they knew immediately. Yes, they texted me. This guy filed. And then they texted me. He qualified by petition. They are excited. Yeah. So I'm letting you know, keep up the fight, brother, man. This is huge. And regardless of the outcome, this is going to make some waves. But don't give up. I don't want you to think that's me poo-pooing on your chances here. This is a legitimate, and I get it. It's hard work. Whenever I ran, I was still working the 9 to 5. I had a weird schedule that I got every other Friday off. So every Friday, I went and door knocked. But, a lot of people are at work from 9 to 5 on a Friday. So how many successful engagements do you get? There's a lot of strategy there. I'm sure you're getting a lot of help from people within your party, hopefully both state, national, letting you strategize on how to get in front of people. And I agree with you. Like, if you could have those one-on-one conversations with every voter in that district, just from your personality and how little we've got to know you over the last hour and a half, you would win this election. But that's not possible. I don't know that you got 3 months there. I don't know if you can knock on 50,000 doors in 3 months. You and your team probably can build the right team, get out, do the texting, do the videos, do the social media, do all the things. Don't give up. Don't give up.
No, I was actually talking to somebody I work with today, and we shared a couple adages with each other. While you guys all were, I guess, military, it sounds like. I served in the Cutco Army. I was a door-to-door knife salesman for 5 years, right out of high school. And one of the mantras, dude, like, you want to talk about hard. We're hard. But one of the mantras that they had, because summer was like 50% of your year is what it became. And they would always say, you can do anything for 90 days, It's just 90 days. You can do anything for 90 days. We got a little bit longer than 90 days, but he shared with me another one where he was like, you don't even have to think about 90 days. Just tomorrow. Just decide when you go to bed at night, tomorrow I'm going to get up and kick ass. And then when you lay in the bed again, make that decision to do one more day. Just one more day. And that's what we're going to do. And people are excited, fired up, ready to go. You know, like you said, it's going to be a long stretch. We got until November to do this.
Yeah.
But I think some good things are going to happen.
Well,
this is words of advice from Woodcraft here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add Ryan real quick.
Yep.
I just have to say this. After you win, I feel sorry for you.
Thank you.
Because no.
Me too.
Because you're only going to make $174,000 a year, and that's not enough for an average American to live on.
I know.
Mike Johnson and made
the conversation we got to have.
We really have to have that conversation. Is $174,000 enough to raise a family here in America? And you know, Mike Johnson alluded to that, saying it's not, because he said it's 31% less than the last time they got a raise. And it's amazing to me that you are volunteering to step up to the mantle and do this. And I truly appreciate people like you, because I do this. I'm not a person that would be a great politician, because I have a tendency to cuss at people when they piss me off. And
I deleted some tweets. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't think it's for me. But when you are knocking on a door of a, let's say, a boomer Republican voter like Tubb. Well, Tubb's not a Republican, but a boomer voter like Tubb. What is going to be your message to them? And that's my end question for you.
Yeah. So if it's a boomer Republican, one, I got to know that my time is probably more valuable elsewhere. It doesn't mean they're not important. It doesn't mean I can't win them. But it's just like in sales, when you're prospecting, you got to know who is your target market and who isn't. I don't necessarily have a message for boomer Republicans that's going to win them over, unless when I ask them, what do you want to leave generations that you'll never meet? You know, there was a word in church this last weekend. We went through this exercise, and and one of the things the pastor said was, you know, have you ever thought about the generations 200 years from now, 300 years from now, that you will never meet, but are there because of you? Do you even pray about them? Do you act in a way to set them up to have a great life? That's the conversation we have to have with boomers right now, is what does 4, 5, 6 generations from now look like? Because you are, what you leave behind is what's for them. And if they are empathetic, if they care, some of them unfortunately don't even care about their children. But if they do, and they're one of the ones who will do anything to leave this country a little better place, then then hopefully they'll be receptive to that message.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Great answer. I think Tubb left a little early. He'd like that answer.
Yeah, I think he would too. So as we close out, can you tell the people where they can find you on social media or on the internets for the
100%? Yeah. So Facebook, Jeremy Todd for KY. I believe that's our Instagram as well. And I will just be using my personal Twitter through this whole thing, because I don't want to start another following. But that's at JTodd601. And I've made a promise. The 601 is not random. Okay. There's meaning behind it. And if I get elected, I will tell everybody what the 601 means.
Challenge.
Yeah, there's the challenge right there. Get me elected and I'll tell you what the 601 stands for. Otherwise it stays my secret. But at JTodd601 on Twitter. And then, of course, you've got the website on there. There's links to be able to donate, volunteer, or just stay in the loop on the campaign and what we're up to.
Hey, I just came up with a hilarious way you should try to get a maximum donation from one specific corporation. You know, some people might frown on that, but you need to reach out to Biofilm Inc. They're the manufacturers of Astroglide, because you said can't buy KY. So I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Listen,
where is this going?
Y'all want some never before released inside info.
Yeah.
So I took this sign to the Massey rally and quickly realized my mistake after like 2 people talked to me. The first person to make the joke, the first dude to make the joke was Matt Gaetz. He saw the sign and I swear to God, beelined over to me and was like, "Hey, are you ready for an interview?" And I'm like, "Sure. Let's do it." So Matt Gaetz was my first campaign interview unknowingly. Then with all the other guests there and everything. So Massey didn't say anything about it because he's a wholesome dude. Yeah. But then I go to get a picture with Lauren Boebert and she goes, "You've got to be effing kidding me." She was like, "I cannot take a picture with that sign." I was like, "What if I promise to never release it to the public?" And she goes, "Okay, fine." So we have a very silly picture.
That's hilarious.
And she is a very good sport. I'm glad she is going to survive the Epstein files, it looks like. And
is she gonna be the only one to survive it? That's crazy.
That's it.
That is crazy because I was Nancy Mace came in 5th place.
Yeah, dude, that's terrible.
He got roasted.
She shouldn't have ran.
But did you guys see her on Twitter today? Now that she's not having to like do the thing
to bow down
to be a politician anymore. If you haven't, hilarious. She might she topped Hunter Biden in her post today.
Hunter Biden gained my respect. I gotta be honest with you, the last 2 weeks he has gained my respect because his use of foul language and just
you enjoy that points. Stuff,
don't you? I actually do because I'm a bit of a rabble rouser myself, and for what he has said, I was like, bro, why weren't you like this when you had your cards in your hand and not so many chips on the table.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that disappoints me, that these people get a lot of balls when they realize that it's technically over, if I could say it. Yeah. Don't do that. Do that when you start.
Well,
get your have some balls from the beginning. Don't get balls when you know that you don't have nothing to lose.
Well,
and that's what I love about libertarians.
Term limit.
Yeah, because I got nothing to lose.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyways, this has been great, and thanks for coming on the show. This is a blast.
Thank you very much. Do you have a closing statement that you want to tell the people of the 4th District of the Commonwealth of Kentucky?
My opponents are going to DC to fit in. I am going to DC to basically wreak havoc. If you want somebody who is going to actually stand up for your values and not answer to their party and their donors, I might be your guy. Look into me. Google me.
This has been the Black Powder Podcast, the premier libertarian podcast in the universe. Marcus Matthews here. Shout out to Tub. He had to go. Shout out to everybody who chimed in. Woodcraft, Amity, Free, D, Blevins, Jason Black. Did I get everybody that came in? We truly appreciate you and your comments, 100%. So with that being said, and as we always end, let's see if Jeremy can finish this phrase tonight. As we always end our podcast, live free.
Or try harder. No, I'm kidding. Live free or die.
Live free or die.
Thank you very much to everybody who listened, watched, and whatnot. Peace.